I think mental health is very important for, any sport, not just basketball as well. So, I think my challenges has always been being, my challenge has always been, just getting out my own head, letting it. My coach, I'm now with right now. He has a saying that says, "Let it fly." Like, just let it go, just let it go, like let it fly. So, I'm still working on my mental health as well. I'm better obviously now, but I'm still doing other things and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, particularly when you are a high performer like yourself. I find that a lot of you guys have a hard time separating your worth and value from what you do. That's not uncommon, but it's good that you had those resources. Now, obviously, she was helpful, but was she a sports psychologist or was she a psychologist?
I think she was a psychologist.
Okay.
I think.
So what do you think are the good qualities of someone that you work with in the mental health space? Because a lot of athletes will sometimes say, like, they don't really understand me, right? Or I went to them, and this can happen sometimes, obviously, and then other times, like, oh, they were great. So what made her great besides the fact that, obviously she helped you, but like how did she develop the rapport with you? I'm excited for you to see this week's episode, but before we get to that, I have a message for you. If you're a parent of an elite athlete or a coach of a high-performing team and you're looking for some help or assistance with making them more mentally resilient, perform with more confidence, be more consistent, anything like that, then this is for you. I have an 8-week program all designed to address exactly that, to help your athlete be at their best on a more consistent basis and not get tripped up by those little voices in their head and getting down on themselves for mistakes, but performing like we know they can. So what I want you to do is don't delay, just grab a time on my calendar through this link, and let's set up a time to talk about your specific situation and how what I'm offering in my 8-week program can help. Okay. So it's brindrescher.com/free consultation. So click this link, grab a time on my calendar. I look forward to talking to you. And now on to this week's episode. All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Mental Advantage podcast. As per usual, I've got a powerhouse guest with me and just an amazing person in Haywood Highsmith Jr. He plays for the Delaware Bluecoats in the NBA G League, but he's also just an amazing human being. How you doing today, Haywood?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm fantastic. I mean, I'm out here in sunny California. It can't be too bad, right?
That's. I'm really jealous of that because I'm out here on the East Coast. It's cold. Just snowed the other day, so I'm really jealous.
I remember snow. Yeah. I grew up in Chicago, so I do know what it is to be in snow, but okay. I don't miss it. I definitely don't miss it, except for during the holidays. I like a little white Christmas. How about you? How do you feel about Christmas? You like the snow? You like the no snow?
I mean, well, growing up, it was always cold. I mean, it was snow sometimes during Christmas. So, I mean, either or, nice weather or cold. I'm used to both.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I usually like to find out, was basketball the first sport that you picked up, Haywood? Because obviously you're playing at the top level of the game. Was basketball the first sport for you, or was there another first love and then you kind of fell into basketball?
Yeah, I think I picked up basketball first, but I also picked up football as well. Like, I played football growing up a lot. I played outside with my friends a lot. I think I gravitated towards basketball more because my father played, so it was easier for me to learn. But I played both sports growing up. I played a lot of sports growing up, but basketball and football are really the ones that stood out. And I made the decision to stick with basketball, but it's a lot of reasoning behind that. Football, it's an outdoor sport, and I don't like the cold sometimes playing outdoors. So
that is true.
Glad I chose basketball, but football's fun as well. Though I love it.
Yeah. Did you choose pretty early on, or did you play all the way through high school with football?
I played football until I got to high school. I was playing Pop One and Little League stuff. Played quarterback. I was really good actually. If I would have stuck with it, maybe who knows? But I think I chose basketball once I got to high school.
Yeah, because you got to specialize, right? Especially if you want to go. Now, did you have dreams? I mean, I think every kid picks up a basketball or even a football has dreams of the NFL or the NBA. Were you already thinking that way, or were you just like, look, I really love this sport?
Yeah, growing up, I watched the NBA all the time. So, that definitely was my dream, always to play in the NBA, the highest level of basketball possible. So, yeah, I've had dreams of playing the NBA when I was a kid, for sure.
Nice. Who was your like main guy that you used to emulate in the backyard? Was it Kobe for three, or was there somebody else?
I think I had a mixture of a lot of different guys. Growing up, I watched LeBron a lot, Kobe a lot, and Kevin Durant a lot. Kevin
Yeah.
Durant's kind of from my area, so I watched him a lot. So in the backyard, I would definitely try to work on the Kevin Durant hezzy pulls or the Kobe fadeaways or the LeBron, dunks and stuff like that. So
Right.
a lot of mixture of those three guys probably.
Nice. Nice. I always think it's so interesting, like, right, who we idolize and then how it helps us, in our game.
Right.
When you were playing basketball, obviously it's always told, you've probably heard that sports is 90% mental, 10% physical.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of talk from your coaches about how to handle the mental side of the game, or was it just like get your head in the game, it's a mental game, like that kind of stuff?
I don't think they really talked about that until I got older, about the mental side. Growing up, it was always just fun for me, so I was just in there just playing, not caring about, how I was thinking and stuff like that. But I think once I got to college, more they, tried to help out mental, with the mentality and stuff like that. So I think it was taught to me at an older age, not a younger age. I'm pretty
Not
sure.
a younger age, right? Now, you said it was fun, and I hear there's a lot of talk about the NBA being a business, college being a business, right? So, and I know you had a non-traditional route to the whole basketball process, right? Like you didn't get recruited right out of high school right away, and you still had your dreams and you did what was necessary. Is it still fun for you, or how do you keep it fun? Because I hear so many people emphasize that it's a business. So I was like, how do you balance that business and fun?
Yeah, it's definitely a business once you get older. A lot of different colleges, recruiting these guys before they even, eligible to get recruited and stuff like that. A lot of stuff going on, people doing wrong things and stuff like that. So it definitely has a business aspect to it. But for me, I just always just love playing it, no matter where I was at, what I was doing. It's just been, something for me to just, it was a hobby. Now it's my job, which is amazing. But like, it's always been fun for me, no matter what, because it's nothing like just, shooting the basketball or dunking the basketball. Like, it never gets old for me. If it ever, gets old for me, obviously it's my time to, just take a step back from the game. But I always love it no matter what, because it's just, growing up, that's what I did. Now I'm doing it, as my job. And, that's what I dreamed of, like we said earlier. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that you went to the AAU tournament or showcase after you graduated. And I know I watched you in a podcast recently, which I thought you were very transparent. I thought it was amazing. And I'm going to recommend people find this podcast. What was the name of that podcast again? Do you know?
The mental health, the one that it's I Am Brand.
Yeah,
So
the I Am Brand, but I think they spell it EYE, right? EYEM. Yes.
I can pull it up on my phone if you need it, but I Am Brand or something.
Yeah, I'll link it down in the notes.
Okay.
But definitely want people, because I think you gave a lot of transparency about what it is to go through the mental side of basketball in that interview. So I thought it was really great. And that's what we talk about here, the mental side of the game. So super excited about that. But when you said that, I remember you saying like it was tough, like seeing other people on signing day and not having that moment. How did you keep your head in the game, so to speak, right? When you didn't have that and you still didn't know if playing in that AAU tournament was going to produce anything. Did you know, or were you just like, you know what, I hope, right? Where would you say your mentality was at in that process?
Well, my parents helped me a lot, through that process. They already knew I was disappointed in myself, not getting, the scholarship that I wanted.
Yeah.
And, they just made sure, that I, stayed ready. And, they always told me that, God is God's plan. It's in God's hands, just keep working. It's going to happen. It definitely happened for me. I appreciate that. And, watching some of my classmates in high school sign, it was tough. I was happy for them, for sure. Because I'm not a hater. I don't hate on nobody, whatever. But it was tough for me because, I know I put in a lot of work. I was wondering when my time was going to come, but, it doesn't. Your time always comes. Good things come those away. I was just patient, played in the AU tournament, and good things happened after that. So, I thank God for everything, and, it was a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk a little bit about, now you ended up getting recruited by a Division II school, right? Which the piece de resistance of college basketball is thought to be Division I. Tell me a little bit about your perspective of going Division One versus going Division Two, like some of the caveats of both, right? Like, because people think, oh, it's all about Division One, but you could also not play at Division One, even if you are on a Division One team. So,
Yeah, I think the main thing is to always go where you want it. Don't just go because it's a big time school and you feel like you can go there and this and that, and coaches promise you this and that. Like, always go where you want it in a place that fits for you. I felt like my D2 was perfect for me because it wasn't too far from Baltimore where I'm from, but it was also far enough where I could grow outside of who I was back in Baltimore as well. So actually, when I was at my D2, I had the option of transferring to Division One. I think after my sophomore year, my junior year, and I was thinking about it, and I was just like, do I really want to go to Division One school and lose everything I got going on down here at the Division Two school? Where I had a lot of power, a lot of that team ran through me. I was a leader. I could do not whatever I wanted, but I could I ran the team basically. So
right.
I didn't want to give up that power, so I just kept working, and I stayed with Division Two school. But yeah, definitely go where you want it. It's a lot of good D2 players out here. Not just me. That's also in the G League and the NBA overseas.
Yeah.
So it's not all about the big Division One schools.
Yeah, I think that's important that athletes hear that, because I think a lot of times everybody's just so attached to what it looks like, right? I've had a previous young lady on here that went to UConn, and she talks about the difficulties that you can encounter at a school like that. And it's like, man, if I would have gone to a different school, maybe I wouldn't have gone through some of that. And so you just never know, right? What? And I didn't know you had that opportunity. So that's really cool that you still evaluated how it was going to look. Because, like, do I want this because it's D1? Or like, look, I'm running the team down here. I've got a lot of playing time, and who knows where you would have went if you would have went Division One, right? So awesome. That's really great. So as you went through the whole college process, you said they did talk about the mental game. Do you remember anything of like how, because I know a lot of people talk about the 90-10, but they don't devote a lot of practice to it. They don't actually teach you how to do the mental game. Was your college different? Were they actually doing meditation, different types of things? Or were they just kind of like, hey, look, it's mental, and we've got a sports psychologist here, because this is usually how I envision it. We have a sports psychologist here if you need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I think my college didn't do it, a lot as other colleges. I think we had an assistant coach, like my freshman and sophomore year, who like helped us meditate every now and then, and it was kind of helpful sometimes and stuff. But we didn't do it a lot. I think I really started to get into the meditation and like the calmness and using the apps and reading books and stuff like that when I got professional, because it was definitely it's like a business, so you got to take some time away from the sport, and get your mental right, because if your mental's not right, you're not gonna be right on the court. So I don't think my college really. I don't think my college had the resources actually to really help me with that, because it was Division II school, so it's kind of tough. But we did. I think they did the best that they could, honestly. So yeah.
No, that makes sense. And I think it's funny that you say Division I schools may have more of the resources, because I don't think it's too different. Like, some coach, I think it more depends on the coach, what resources they're willing to devote. So whether they have the resources or not, right? Like, most coaches can't teach what they never learned, right? So even at these top Division I schools, it seems to be more of a reactive approach, which is, like I said, we got a sports psychologist here if you need to talk to
I think it depends on the coach for sure, because my coach in the G League puts a lot of time into the mental stuff as well, so for sure.
Exactly. So I think it is what the coach wants to focus on. Well, so as you finished college, like you said, you've told before, as you were getting ready to go, was there any schools showing interest in you? Is that typical of a Division II player, just to let the audience know, like to look down at, not down, I don't want to say that, but look at Division II for NBA guys? Or was it just kind of like you didn't know if that was ever going to happen, but you didn't give up on your NBA dreams?
So you're asking, I'm sorry, say the question again.
Sorry, I didn't ask the question very well.
You're good.
When you were coming to the end of your college career, did you have any interest? Like, obviously you may have had interest in the NBA, but did they show any interest in you?
Not really. One team gave me a shot for real, Philadelphia 76ers. So, went to that summer league training camp before they went to Vegas and made the most out of that. and got on their G League team, and then the rest is just, I
The
mean,
rest
history.
is
If you want me to tell the
history.
story, I'll tell the story, but we can talk about it later.
Yeah, no, I do want to hear that story. I was just curious. So when you say they gave you a shot, they called you and invited you to their summer thing, or how did it go?
Yeah, so I knew I was well connected in Baltimore with a lot of people, and
Okay.
somebody I knew in Baltimore actually knew Elton Brand personally.
Mm-hmm.
And so he kind of hooked me up with him, and he watched, I guess, some games, and I think he watched the game where we played West Virginia University, which was Division One. It's like a scrimmage exhibition game, so it's a
Yeah.
Division One school. I did well, and then yeah, so I guess he took interest in me, invited me to the training camp. I didn't make it to Vegas, unfortunately, but I played well enough where he gave me a shot in the G League and made the most out of that, and then
And the rest is history. Well, that's
yeah,
nice. So when you're coming, like, what would be your best advice to a Division II player in the event that, like, let's say someone like they don't know an Elton Brand, and I know that's your experience, but if they don't know somebody, how do they get like onto, like, is it well publicized when these tryouts are happening? Can anyone go? How does it work?
So my advice would be, I mean, it's really tough. I mean, if you're a Division II guy and you're trying to pursue NBA, I'm not gonna lie, your numbers have to be pretty good from the
Yeah.
jump, from the start. So my advice would be, definitely, the first step with me was finding an agent that wanted to do the same thing I was doing, pursue the NBA. My agent that I found, he felt like I could pursue the NBA, the G League, get there. I was a good enough player. So if you don't have the agent that's got the same, goals as you, it's not going to work because some agents want you to go overseas, some agents want you to go here and work out here and stuff. Like, you got to make sure you got the right agent, and then from that you got to try to get in some of these pre-draft workouts. Start talking to a few teams. Because I mean, I think teams nowadays, but like after I came out, I actually listened to more Division II, All Americans and stuff like that. Because I've seen, I don't know how these other D2 guys that I know in the G League, I don't have, I
Yeah.
forget, but they probably went through the draft process, got some draft workouts, and they showed out, got on the summer league team, and then ended up with some G League team or whatever.
Gotcha.
So my advice, it all starts with the agent, and then after that, talking to the teams, showing them some film, and really performing in these draft workouts that you got before the draft. Obviously, it's going to be tough to get drafted as a Division II guy in the NBA. So you just got to show out in summer league, and get on the summer league team, and just got to take advantage of every opportunity you get, because you never know you're gonna get it again at that
Just
point.
never know, right?
Yeah.
And I love what you said about the agent, because I think a lot of people don't really, like, it's so exciting to get an agent, I bet, right? Like, oh my God, somebody, right? But like you said, they got to have the same vision for you that you do, because if not, they're going to push you to their dream or what they think is possible for you, right?
Yeah.
So if they think that you should just go overseas, no matter how much you talk about the NBA, they're like, oh, we'll just go play overseas for a little bit, and then maybe we'll talk about the NBA later, because really they just want to get paid, right? What's the fastest path to cash for them? So how did you know to get an agent? Like, who was talking to you about that? Because, because obviously you knew that was the process, but how did you know?
Yeah, I actually, well, me and my parents was with me through this whole process.
Yeah.
Thank God for them, because I don't know how I would have got through it without them.
Right.
But I met with at least 4 to 5 agents, just at my house, just talking to them about, life, basketball. Where do you see me at? What's your plans with me? Questions like that. And
Right.
My parents asked a billion questions. I was asking those type of questions. But we met with a lot. The guy also that hooked me up, I was in Brand, helped me with some of these agents as well, because he knew some of them as well. My guy Robert Grant Wees, I'll say his name, shout him out. But yeah, I think the one that stood out for me was, I could just tell by his energy that he was, a hard worker. He had, he wanted to get me where I wanted to be. And, and I could tell he was just a trustworthy guy, because some of these agents, you just don't know. You don't know these guys very much. You got to trust them. You depend on them for your careers and getting you jobs and stuff like that. So just got to meet with them, get to know them, and, pray about it as well. And, just make the best decision for yourself.
I was literally going to ask you, the next question was about your faith. Obviously, you mentioned God and prayer a few times in this interview. How does your faith help you in this process of pursuing high-level basketball and, like you said, navigating all the various, phases of the process?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in church since I was like 5. My parents took me to church. Thank God they did, and God has been with me every step of the way. I don't think none of this would be possible without Him, obviously. So, anytime that stuff is getting hard or stuff is getting, too tough for me, I always, take a second, say a prayer, thank God for what He's doing for me, what He's going to do for me. So, stuff like that really helps me, be at peace with stuff, because, I know that I'm doing everything that I can and it's in God's hands at the end of the day. So, I think having your spiritual side is very important as an athlete. Like, is some guys, you never know what's going on behind, closed doors and stuff like that. Like it's tough being an athlete, professional athlete sometimes. But, just making sure you have God in your life, reading the Bible and stuff like that really can go a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just to have that anchor, right? Because like
Yeah.
you said, there's all these temptations around basketball, so much
Yeah.
out there, especially if you have a lot of downtime and there's a lot of people pulling at you, right? So speak about that. Speak about how, like, when you see that you're on the come up, right? Talk about, and no names or anything, but like what that experience is like with the hanger-oners or the people that kind of all of a sudden like kind of want to be a part of the posse, the squad.
Yeah, I mean, I just try to just stay to the people who was loyal to me from the jump. My friends that I've known since I was 5, 6, 7. My parents, my family. People. I have a lot of support. But it always is those guys who come out of nowhere like, yeah, I knew you since blah blah blah. Like but you just gotta just stay focused, keep level, and just do what you gotta do. My support system actually does a great job in making sure that nobody comes in with that what comes and within the circle that I got going on. So they do a great job of blocking them off, blocking the bandwagon, the people trying to hop on the train and stuff like that. So I've always been a humble guy no matter what. So I don't get big headed no matter how much money I get or how well I'm doing or where I'm at. I'm gonna be the same guy no matter what. But yeah.
Is it hard? I mean, like to stay humble in that experience? Because I know like there's a lot of ego that goes into kind of like, I'm in the NBA now, or I'm kind of, or I know like you had a call up as well. So like how does one stay humble? I know you said you've always been that guy, but do you ever feel that like kind of the pull to be like, yeah, I'm the ish,
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's okay not to be humble, like in the right moment. Like sometimes I'm definitely not humble. Like I like confidence is always key for me. So like like I'm on the court talking trash stuff like that. That's just me just being confident in myself. Right. But that's the right time to be unhumble, like on the court. But like but for me, just trying to stay humble as far as when I get the call ups and stuff. I think it's all about just remembering, that you have bigger goals than, just being here. Like the call up was great, but I also want to stick in the NBA. I don't want to just get a 10-day contract. Like, so, my parents always taught me from the jump, always be humble, and they know I'm the humblest person in the world. So, but I just try to just stay level headed and, just keep playing.
It's so awesome that you have such a great support system, like you said, in your parents, and they've been there throughout that period. So as you've gone, like you're on the G League now with the Delaware Bluecoats, what's the hardest part about playing professional basketball, in your opinion?
The hardest part about playing professional basketball? I mean, being away, being on your own a lot, being away from your family a lot is kind of tough. We travel a lot. And, my parents, I have a daughter, have a girlfriend, have a big family as well. Being away from my daughter is definitely tough, even though she's coming next week to see me, but it's very tough being away from her. She's a newborn, so she's growing, every second. So, I miss, little moments every now and then, but, being away from your family is definitely a big tough part about being a professional athlete. We're on our own a lot, we have a lot of downtime. And we travel a lot as well. But traveling is pretty nice, actually. But, just being away from your family, being away from your kids and, your loved ones and stuff like that. It's tough, but, you're doing it. You love basketball because you're doing it.
Yeah. So how do you take your family onto the court with you? What's one way that you take the family onto the court with you so that you can kind of like feel closer to them?
Yeah, well, I just started this ritual this year because I just had my daughter in October that, before every game, I call her. She doesn't talk yet. She's still young, but I talk to her a little bit. She's not talking back. She smiles and stuff like that. But that tradition, it really is nice for me because, it just gives me a sense of, what I'm doing this for. I mean, obviously I'm doing it for me, but I'm doing it for her as well. And I take my family to court a lot of different ways. Also when I get to the free throw line, I do a couple dribbles for my aunt and my grandfather in heaven as well. I get to the free throw line, so I just try to do little things like that. Just help me remember. Why I'm doing this as well. It's not just me; it's the bigger picture.
It's the bigger picture. Yeah, absolutely. So you talked about the call up, right? Or we referenced it, the 10-day contract. A lot of people don't know about this, right? So you have 10 days to prove yourself, essentially, right? How many games can happen in a 10-day contract typically, you think?
Yeah, the NBA. So they play a lot of games each week, so it can be like, it could be a game every other day. So it could be 5, 4, probably 4 or 5, I would say, because it wouldn't be 3. That's too. Not yeah,
Is
4 or
there
5
some
I would
type of
say.
is there some type of incentive in the contract that says in order to get another 10-day contract or to get an end of season contract, you need to perform like this? Or is it just 10 days, we'll see what you do?
It's just 10 days. See what you do for sure. Yeah, yeah.
How's that work for you mentally? Like what is how do you respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure. You got 10 days to prove what you can do. But I mean, it's just basketball at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
no matter where you at, it's like you're in the back. It's not like in the backyard, but it's kind of like that. Like it's basketball. Just hoop, have fun, and yeah, you just gotta hoop. Just gotta
Yeah.
hoop. Yeah.
When you, one of the things I loved when you talked on the other podcast was you telling the story about like it finally happened, right? So you saw, so talk us through that moment of the call up and just like the walking into the first experience.
Yeah. So this was about 3 years ago, 2 years ago with the Sixers. Got a 2-way contract with them in like January, I think. So played a G League game. I was on the Delaware Blue Coats back then. Played a G League game the morning. And then after that game, I went to the Sixers training facility, signed a contract. My father was there, uncle, a couple other friends, some friends. My mom actually wasn't there. So when I signed the contract, it's like midday. The Sixers played later that day. So I signed a contract, so I'm on the Sixers. I'm taking pictures of Elton Brand, all this stuff. My agent's there. Good moment, but a lot of pictures, a lot of happiness. So they called me up for the game later against the Washington Wizards, which is it's kind of significant because I'm from Baltimore. That's the closest
There
team
you
to
go,
Baltimore.
right?
So kind of significant. I watched the Wizards growing up. I wasn't really a Wizards fan, but so they called me up later for that game. And my mom came up, my brother came up, and they're so excited, and I'm just like, oh wow, like I mean, like this is kind of nerve wracking for me. Like I'm about to play, like I'm about to get on the NBA court, warm up, shoot, might get in, never know, gotta stay ready. So, I'm pulling up into the facility. This is my first time getting to the Sixers arena. So I pull up in my no, actually I rode with somebody. I didn't pull up. I rode with my other 2-way guy, Shake Milton. He's on the Sixers right now, and they're taking pictures. Like we're on like a fashion runway or something.
Yeah.
Like how they take the pregame pictures and stuff.
Yes, yes.
It's pretty cool. I had on like a regular like sweatpants,
Yeah.
Sixers sweatpants, Sixers. Like I just got the Sixers stuff, so and some UGG slippers or something. So we get to the game. Well, I walk in the locker room. This is when Jimmy was on the team. My locker's right next to Jimmy Butler. It was actually significant as well because I got caught up by the Heat. He was on the Heat. So me and Jimmy go way back, but whatever. So I walk in there, got superstar Joel, Ben Simmons, JJ Redick, guys that I used to low-key watch on TV, when I was in college or high school, whatever. So, it's just a surreal moment. I'm taking it all in, going to court warm up, and I'm just, this is crazy, Felt like I was dreaming. One of the greatest days of my life. So when the game time come, the Sixers playing the Wizards, they blowing them out. So somebody told me start warming up. You're gonna get in a second. I'm like, oh, I'm getting a little nervous, my heart beating fast and stuff. So I get in first play, almost turned it over, didn't turn it over, but then they run a action for me called floppy, which is actually a pin down to like a 3-point shot. So I come off the screen, I'm open, see the rim, shoot it. First three, first shot, good, make it. My parents going crazy. The bench going crazy. First NBA bucket, so special moment for me. So that whole day was crazy. After the game, saw my family. My mom was crying. I hugged her. It was a very emotional day. She was so happy for me. I'm just glad I got to experience that with them. So, that whole day was just amazing. I got so much love on social media, Instagram, Twitter. Had so many messages I didn't reply to. I don't know if I replied to them till this day, but I did my best. But that whole day was just a great day filled with love, and I'll remember that day for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I remember you saying like even just like I think you said you shed a tear after you.
Yeah, I think I shed a little tear, little tear.
Yeah,
I didn't cry like my mom did, but
yeah, no, right.
yeah, yeah.
But you could hear your parents after you shot.
Yeah, they were loud. They were loud.
They were loud. Yeah, yeah,
They were
yeah.
loud. I kind of heard them because the Sixers arena is not quiet, so it was kind.
Yeah.
It was like because I shot the ball on one end of the court, and like their seats were on the other side of the court.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
I kind of heard them run when I was running back.
But you knew where they were, so you also could look and see.
They got the video and all that. Yeah,
Gotcha.
They were screaming. Yeah.
Of course, they're gonna show your family, like Haywood's family is. You know, okay, gotcha. Cool. That's awesome, and I think it's like you never can get that experience back, right? Like that first time is so amazing. Yeah. So how do you keep it fresh of like, holy crap, I'm in the NBA, like, after like 10 of those experiences?
Yeah, the goal was obviously to get to the NBA, and I got there. So, it's like, what's next? Like I'm trying to stick here. I'm trying to get like a real contract. So, I just gotta keep working. I gotta remember that this is not the end. This is the beginning, and I just gotta keep working and keep grinding. So after that day, I just had to just make sure I just stay focused on and stuff, and that all my hard work is paying off. So just keep doing it and keep doing what I'm doing.
So with the first 10-day contract, because you've been up more than once, correct?
Yeah, I've been up twice.
Twice, okay. So with the first 10-day contract, and what you're saying, right? Like they were blowing them out, and then they played me. So since they control how much playing time you get, and depending on how well they're performing is whether they're going to play you or not, that's got to be a little nerve-wracking because you're like, I've only got 10 days to prove myself, and if you don't play me in those 10 days, how can I do that? Yeah,
well, the first contract I got with the Sixers was a two-way contract. It wasn't a 10-day. The two-way is like you go back and forth with the G League.
Okay, my mistake.
The second one was a 10-day with the Heat. You're correct on that. Yes,
got it.
So the two-way is more. You're on the team for you're on the team longer than 10 days for the two-way contract.
Got it. So how many games did you play in that two-way?
I think I played 5. Okay. 5. Yeah.
Okay, and. Is there like a conversation that happens if they're gonna like be like, so we're gonna keep you down with the coats now, we're not gonna keep you up, or is it more just like like maybe you played as many games and then they went into the playoffs? How does that work exactly?
So the two-way basically, they call you up and down. Like it can be at any point. Like they can literally call you while you're at home in an apartment in Delaware with the coats and say, "Yo, we need you tonight." Or they're gonna call, or they might send you down to the Colts when you're up with them. Like it just depends on them. Maybe they got some injuries with the Sixers, so they call you up, or maybe they got some COVID issues, they'll call you up. So like it just depends. It varies.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I guess it's kind of on them. Yeah.
It's kind of on them. Yeah. So how does that feel? Feeling like you don't have the control over. Like it's awesome to be wanted, but like they call you up and it feels great. And then, you don't know if the next game it's going to be an up or down. So how does that feel kind of being in that space?
Yeah, you just got to just stay ready when your moment's called. Just got to stay ready so you don't got to get ready, because, just got to stay ready. That's the only thing I guess.
Is it ever discouraging?
Not really. Not really. You just got to stay patient, stay ready. Your moment's coming.
That's how it happens. Okay, so let's take it to the second call up, right? How much time between the two-way and the 10-day?
Shoot. The two-way was in like 2019, I think. 2019. Then the 10-day this year was, 2021. So it was like, 2022, actually. So it was like 3 years, 2 years, something like that.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is your first 10-day that you got called up for. How was that experience? Like same thing, signing a contract, 10-day, or is it there's no contract for the 10-day?
It's a contract for the 10-day. So the Heat had some COVID issues and they needed some players. So I was literally in my apartment just chilling, and my agent called me and I had to like rush to the airport like quick. Like I barely made the flight low key.
Wow.
But, it's a contract for the 10-day. They flew me out to Houston and they had a whole road trip and stuff. So yeah.
Nice. Is Jimmy playing for the Heat at that time or no?
Yeah. This was this year. Yeah, Jimmy.
This is this year. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Was it like, did you get a chance to talk to Jimmy on both occasions? Like you said, you've known him from before. Like, what was it like, being back with Jimmy Butler and like,
Yeah,
is he taking
Jimmy's
you
a
under his
funny.
wing or what?
Yeah, Jimmy's a first funny personality guy. I mean, he brings a lot of different things to the teams and stuff. We played on and playing and stuff. He's like playing games with him like that is even funny. Well, because he just wants to win so bad. It's just
Yeah.
funny. But yeah, I mean, me and Jimmy are pretty tight. He's a very cool guy. He's a good leader, and he just wants to win. End of the day. Yeah.
Awesome. So at the, do you remember, now you said that this was this year, the 10-day. So that's nice.
Yeah.
How many games did you get to play in that 10 days? Do you remember?
I played 3 games. Yeah,
And
played 3 games.
how did you feel like you did?
I feel like I did solid. I had to learn the whole offense and learn their defense and stuff. But I think I came in there and did some good things. I hit some threes, played some defense. Hustled, rebounded. So I did some good things. I felt like they thought I did some good things too. They told me, they liked me a lot. They listened to keep me and stuff like that. So. They also say, stay ready. So I never know. They might call me again.
They might call you again. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So you did make a good impression, but sometimes you don't get signed because they don't have enough room for you?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if I perform super well. They're not going to sign me to an extended contract if my other guys are coming back and they don't have the salary cap or the room, right?
Yeah, it's basically like about timing. Yeah.
Yeah. But you made a good impression, and that's what's important.
Yeah, I made a good impression. I mean, I did all I could do, so I'm satisfied.
You did, yeah. And I think that seems to be the theme, right? I did everything I could do, and then I let the, God, universe, whatever, take care of the rest, which is...
Yeah, leave no regrets. Yeah.
So I think that's really awesome because you can only control so much. And I think you seem to have an art form of focusing on what you can control. So that's good, right? Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously, as you said, you did play overseas for a little bit, and I think people don't really know what it's like to play overseas. And you talked about being away from your family, but talk about like the difference between being away from your family in the NBA on a road trip and being overseas.
Yeah, I mean, I can see my family, and then when I'm in the NBA and stuff, I'm in the country. They can come to the games, and we're in the same time zone. I don't got to worry about, me being just waking up and stuff like that. But, yeah, overseas, it was definitely a different experience for me. My first time over there, played in Germany. Was on my own a lot. This was during, like, when COVID first started, going crazy. So everything was on lockdown for real. So there really wasn't nothing to do when I got to Germany. And, me and my teammates actually, we hung out a few times. We didn't hang out a lot. So we was on our own a lot. And, it was tough. It was tough being over there. Different food, different culture, different, just being on different time zones, feeling like, you're going crazy. I had to teach myself how to cook, a lot because, they don't really have a lot of fast food places like we have back here and stuff, So had to cook a lot. But, I got through it. Definitely a tough experience, but, it definitely taught me a lot about myself.
Yeah, like, and I've also heard that sometimes they don't like you. Like your teammates don't like you because you're an American, or the countrymen don't like you because.
I think sometimes that's the case, but in Germany, I think my teammates were pretty cool.
So you were good, okay?
Yeah.
Because I know it can be tough. Like in addition to not feeling very welcome, other than you're a basketball player and it's really cool and all that.
Right.
But I think it's also the 1-year contract situation where you don't really have time to bond with these people because you're only going to play with them for a certain amount of time, and then you're going to be back home and things like that. Yeah. So, but you had spoke that your girlfriend helped you through that process by coming over and spending some time with you as well, because it was like a saving grace. Yes.
Yeah, she definitely came at the right time. I was going through it for sure. I was definitely having a rough time, but she came through, made me feel like I was back at home, cooking meals, cleaning, helping me out, and while we was doing a lot of things together, we spent some time together, so it was nice. Definitely
it was nice. Like a little taste of home, right? Like in so many ways. It was just like, at least she brought the home with her, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So when you, one of the things you also spoke about on that podcast, which I don't think gets talked a lot about, and we've already talked about, like you said, you got more into the mental game on the professional side. And your coach actually does emphasize it. What are some of the modalities, and like when he does talk about it, what is he bringing you guys through? What do you find really helpful? I know you talked about meditation and the apps, but is there any other exercises that he's doing or anything like that?
He does like a lot of different things. We did like a family tree one where everybody goes to the board and like draws like your family, your group that supports you and stuff. Um, yeah, like I said before games, we kind of meditate. Sometimes before practices, he like takes we do like breaths and like visualizing stuff and like closing your eyes and like. But yeah, I mean, I guess he's like a big, like, I think he said, because when he was a player, he didn't focus on the mental side enough that he's trying to help us out. So it kind of makes sense. But, he's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. He's kind of like, like a pro at it at this point. I don't know how he does it. Like, he just it helps the team definitely. But, he does a lot of different things. Like, we'll come in tomorrow and there'll be a question on the board, like, what do you notice about somebody when you first meet them? It's just like he just gets us thinking about different things. I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's really awesome. Because one of my feelings as a mental performance coach is that they don't take a proactive approach enough in most of the sports, right? Like, so it's always reactive, like, which is like, hey, go talk to somebody if you need it. But it's like, what if we gave you the right foundation so you didn't have, not that there's anything wrong with going to get therapy, but
Right.
what if we gave you because people tell you to get out of your head. They tell you to focus. They like words like consistency, but nobody teaches you how to do that. They just
Right.
go, get out of your head, Haywood. And you're like, I'm trying.
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk about that. Cause obviously you have, you're an advocate for mental health for athletes. Tell a little bit about your experience with that. I mean, obviously thank you for telling me about what you're doing with your coach. But also how therapy also factors in, because it's not necessarily one versus the other. So sometimes they can work in tandem. And like, let me ask this instead. What predicates or like has the need for the therapy? Like, what kind of made you feel like, man, I got to go talk to somebody?
Yeah, I think my frustration and my anger level really, made me just think that, it wasn't my mind wasn't right, and I just need to just talk to somebody about what I was feeling, and how I was feeling, stuff like that. So actually, like the G League, we had a meeting about like, mental health, I'm pretty sure. And like I was thinking in my head, like, maybe I need to, go talk to somebody, 'cause it might help me in the long run. So yeah, I mean, this was like around the time my second year in the G League. I wasn't playing, my best basketball. So, obviously as an athlete, you're thinking to yourself like, I mean, man, like I gotta get it together, or, it's gonna be, a long season. So, I'm one of those guys who put like I put a lot of pressure on myself to be the best I can. I want to be great. I put in the work, obviously. So, when it doesn't work my way, I start to question myself sometimes. So, I definitely felt like, that was a reason to talk to somebody as well. So, I was thinking, terrible things about myself as a basketball player. I was like, thinking I was a bad basketball player and stuff like that, which obviously I'm not. I'm a professional athlete, so I got here. But, you know, the blue coats really helped me. The guy for his name was Steven. He doesn't work here no more, but he hooked me up with somebody like a therapist in the Philly area, all paid for. I didn't have to pay for anything. She was talking to me about a lot of different things about just me, just not not being so tough on myself like I was. So when I would miss a lot of shots, I would think like, wow, like you're not a good shooter, Haywood, and stuff like that. And she would just you know put me through different exercises that would help me get through that stuff. I'm like that would help me think that I'm doing the best that I was doing. So so sometimes you don't have a good game, but you got to keep playing, stuff like that. So. I think therapy, it can help a lot with a lot of people. Like you said, teams should obviously have different stuff as well that can help players on the mental side. Because I think mental health is very important for any sport, not just basketball as well. So I think my challenges has always been being my challenge has always been just getting out my own head. Just letting it. My coach, I'm now with right now. He has a saying that says, "Let it fly." Like just let it go, just let it go, like let it fly. So I'm still working on my mental health as well. I'm better obviously now, but I'm still doing other things and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, particularly when you are a high performer like yourself. I find that a lot of you guys have a hard time separating your worth and value from what you do. That's not uncommon, but it's good that you had those resources. Now, obviously, she was helpful, was she a sports psychologist or was she a psychologist?
I think she was a psychologist.
Okay.
I think.
So, what do you think are the good qualities of someone that you work with in the mental health space? Because a lot of athletes will sometimes say, like, they don't really understand me, right? Or I went to them and this can happen sometimes, obviously, and then other times, like, oh, they were great. So, what made her great besides the fact that, obviously she helped you, but like, how did she develop the rapport with you?
I think she just tried to just figure out what I was going through in different ways. She would do different, like I said, different exercises and stuff. So like we met in person a few times, and she would ask me questions and stuff that that I would have to answer. But we met over on video chat because this is COVID. So like well, this is before COVID hit. When COVID hit, I think we had to do like meetings on video and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So she had me like write down stuff that I was proud of and stuff that I've accomplished. And, and she would make me look back at that type of stuff when I was going through a rough patch. And she would be like, "Now look at all that you accomplished. And, don't worry about the stuff now, like because that stuff that I accomplished wasn't easy, obviously. So she would do those type of things, with making me look back at that type of stuff, or she would, make me think about just keep going, don't never give it up and stuff, and always telling me that, I'm motivating other people and stuff like that. So I think she had she like her qualities were always just, doing different things that would help me mentally. She, the exercise, like I said, but yeah, I mean, she was just a good person overall. I think she also had like kids and stuff that she could relate to with me.
Yeah.
So, because I was like 20, 22, 23 back then. I think she had like some older kids as well. So
Gotcha. And she listened to you, like, which I
yeah,
think
she
is a big
listened.
thing because sometimes some people try to tell you how you feel and you're like, no,
Yeah,
this
she would
is,
let me talk a lot for
yeah,
sure. Like, yeah, that
that's
makes sense.
good. That's great.
Yeah.
The other question I wanted to ask you is, did you tell your teammates that you were going to get this help? Or was that something you guys talk about?
No, I didn't tell my teammates. I mean, no, I just didn't tell them. I mean, I wasn't like I was hiding it from them. I just didn't
Yeah,
tell
no,
them.
I got you. It just didn't
Yeah.
come up in conversation. And it's
Yeah,
not,
they
yeah.
would have asked me. I would have been like, "Yeah, I'm just, I told my cousin and stuff. So I mean, I told my mother too. So I wasn't
Yeah,
hiding it for sure. Yeah,
you weren't hiding it. Yeah.
yeah,
So, but as far as the mental health aspect, it's even though your coach kind of emphasized it, nobody's talking about it. Nobody's going, hey, man, I feel like I need to talk to somebody.
right now on this team.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just in any of your experiences. Yeah. As it on that level.
I think nobody's really talking about it enough for sure, especially overseas. Like I don't think they don't
Yeah.
even
And
care
then
over
they're not
there.
offering anything overseas from what I
Yeah,
understand.
overseas they don't even care. Like I mean, they might like if you're not doing what you're doing in the court, they might just cut you right away. They don't even care. Like yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So and that's got to be nerve wracking as well. Like, I got to, like, I'm overseas and they're just going to kind of like, yeah, you're not working out. We'll get rid of you.
it's tough overseas. I don't. Yeah, it's really tough.
Yeah. 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 So, so now that you've been in the G League, had your call ups, you're making good impressions. What's your ultimate goal with basketball?
Just be the best player I can be. And obviously I want to get back to the NBA with some more call ups, but staying long term more. Yeah, I mean I got a lot left in the tank. I'm still young, 25, so my ultimate goal is just keep grinding, be the best basketball player I can be. Hopefully that'll lead me to the NBA.
Yeah, absolutely. And is there any fear? Like, is it going to happen? Anything like that?
No, no fear at all. When you put in the work, you know it's coming. When you put in
Yeah.
the work, you can't cheat the game at all.
Yeah, you got to just put in the work and, like you said,
Yeah,
let the rest of it take care of itself.
control what I can control.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the questions I like to ask on this, because it's called the mental advantage, what is Haywood's mental advantage?
My mental advantage, I'm just confident. I'm confident. I feel like I can do anything that I put my mind to.
Nice. How do you distinguish between, because I think people get confused about this. I'm not saying you do, confidence and cockiness. What's the difference in your mind?
It's a good question. It's a very good question. Uh, I think they are similar in a way. I think, but I think cockiness is more like an arrogance, like confidence. Like you're just like you're just doing it just to show off. I feel like a little bit, but confidence is like you're just like you just confident in yourself. So it's like, but it's kind of that's a good question. I low key don't know how to even answer that. Like a little bit.
Yeah. Well, a fun fact for you, if you ever get asked again, confidence it comes from confide, to trust in oneself. Whereas cockiness, like in my opinion, when you're cocky, like you said, the arrogance, but it's built on putting other people down typically, right? Like I'm better than you. Versus confidence is just like, like you said, it comes from within. It's coming from within.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have that ability. All right, so we've gotten to the rapid fire questions, okay? The rapid fire questions. They're really serious questions, Haywood, so hopefully you're ready for them.
Okay.
And by serious, I mean they're not. Okay. So the first question is, what is your favorite snack right now?
My favorite snack right now. That's a great question. I like Lifesavers.
Ooh, do you have a favorite flavor?
The gummy Lifesavers. I don't really know the flavors. The ones that's like colorful, like got different colors on them.
Yeah. Well, sometimes people like the tropical ones. I don't know the gummy side, but like whatever. Yeah. But like if you go through the colors, are you a red? Are you a yellow? Are you a? I
think I like the red.
The red, yeah. I figured that's the one that I think most people like is the red, like kind of like the Starburst, right? The pink and the red versus the yellow. Yeah. All right. Do you have a favorite flavor of ice cream?
I don't really eat ice cream like that, but I do like vanilla.
I know you said you've been eating healthily lately.
I've been trying,
yeah. Well, right. It's a process. But at least, every once in a while, if you did have ice cream, you like vanilla. Okay, I always call that the gateway drug of ice cream, right? We all started with vanilla because none of it, most people didn't bring home like Rocky Road on our first, home visit for ice cream.
More of a cookie guy than an ice cream guy.
Ooh, cookies. Yeah. So are you a chocolate chip? Oh, no, raisin?
Chocolate chip is it's crazy. I think I'm addicted to chocolate chip cookies. Like
gotcha.
If they're warm, it's a wrap. I might just eat them.
Yes, right out of the oven.
Right out of the oven.
Does your girlfriend make them at home for you?
She does every now and then, but I probably, like when I order them, I order them like Insomnia cookies or like Subway or like, I don't know. Or Panera Bread or something like that. Yeah.
I know. I do love a Subway cookie. Yes. I'm vegan now, so I don't think their cookies fall under that. But yes, I do know what you're talking about.
Gotcha.
Okay. So this one is, favorite superhero. And do you have, well, no, don't answer that one. What is this? If you could have any superpower, what would you want and why?
Everybody asks this question every time on the podcast. I'm trying to think. Superpower. I think I would want to be super strong, I guess. I don't know, super strong. The
super strength. See, you didn't want to fly. Most people want to fly, so this is great. All right, super strength. Nice. Do you have a favorite superhero?
Yeah. I watched a lot of Justice League growing up. I like Batman, Superman.
Oh, a lot of people like Batman. See, I'm a Superman person myself, but
I like both. I like both. Yeah. They got two different characters. I like.
They do. I find more people like Batman because he's technically he's rich, but he's just a human. Whereas like Superman's an alien, so it's like, well, I can't be an alien, so at least I can maybe get all the gadgets and be like Batman.
It makes Batman so cool because he's not even like he doesn't have like a power. It's just you got all the gadgets and stuff. Yeah.
He just has anger.
Yeah.
The dark side of Batman. All right. Yeah. Okay. So this question is a question you may not feel any type of way about, but some people have an opinion. When it comes to toilet paper, some people like their toilet paper over the top, and some people like their toilet paper to come from the bottom on the roll, right? And so do you have a preference and why?
I don't think I have a preference.
Okay, see, there you go. As long as there's toilet paper. Okay, no problem.
as long as there's toilet paper.
As long as there's toilet paper. Okay, yeah. See, I'm an over the top myself, but at the same time, you're not the first. Most of my athletes were over the tops, but you are not a person that has a preference, so that's fine. Everyone has their own thing, and yeah.
When you say over the top, you mean like coming
like
from
the toilet
top?
Paper comes from like so like basically on the roll. If I pull it, it comes from here versus if I pull it, it comes from here. Does that make sense?
But what's the difference though?
Some people just, right, it doesn't really matter. It still works as toilet paper, but some people feel like it just like, like it just, they like the way that it comes off the roll. But no, I mean, ultimately it's just.
I think in my life I did more over the top.
Yeah. Yeah, but you don't have to have a preference. It's okay. You're like, I don't care if it's on the roll. So it's good.
I've never got asked that, so that's funny.
I know. When you go to the bathroom, you'll notice for the first time.
And
you'll be like,
notice it now, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh my gosh, it is a thing, right? No, but me, I will change it in my house, not in your house, but I will change it in my house if it's not on the right way.
I feel you.
Yeah, but not everybody cares. So, it's okay. All right, next question. Who's your personal hero?
I'll say my parents. Just because they raised me well, gave me a good life, and they've always supported me no matter what, for sure. My parents.
And if you could be remembered for one thing, when it comes down to like the legacy of Haywood, what do you want it to be?
Just being a great person, great father, a great basketball player, just being a great overall person, great father for sure though.
Yeah, I forgot to ask you about your daughter. So you just became a dad. And obviously, like you said, you spend time away from her. Now adding this to your sort of roles of basketball player, right, boyfriend, son, what has becoming a father been like the most, like most biggest change in you?
Yeah, I think I've become so more mature, like as a person. Like, I mean, I've always been, young and, been one of the youngest people in my family and stuff. So now that I'm all grown up, I've became more mature. And, I think about her a lot, and I just try to just be better for her no matter what. Call her a lot, see her a lot, just trying to become a better overall person, like I said earlier in the show. But, she has my heart, and she's my daughter for sure, and, love her to death.
Absolutely. Well, this has been a fantastic experience. Thank you so much for your time and just your amazing thing. For people to connect with you or to sort of follow what's going on in your world, where would you like them to look or connect?
You can follow me on Instagram, Haywood Junior 24. Yeah, I mean, I don't really be on Twitter like that. So
yeah. Okay, so you heard it here. You can connect with him on Instagram. Follow his journey to becoming an NBA All-Star. And yes, because I see it already, Haywood. We're just going to
speak it into fruition for sure.
There you go. Absolutely. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the cast. We love having you.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.